One of the challenges, at least for me, in growing a lot of your own food is that you get an abundance of one type of vegetable or fruit all at once. So all your potatoes come at once, all your tomatoes come at once, all your lemons come at once. And I'm going to show you one of the things that I like to do when we have a bunch of lemons today. If this is your first time here, my name is Brianna, and my husband Gray and I like to learn, practice, and teach our children traditional skills. For the last 2 or 3 years, we've been getting a load of lemons off just one lemon tree. And it's kind of nice because here in the winter, things are a lot slower in our homestead kitchen. They're a lot slower in the garden, and everything looks kind of dreary. But the citrus, right when everything else is kind of looking kind of drab, they are beautiful, and the leaves are glossy, and the fruit is so bright, and it just makes me so happy. When we pull the fruit off the tree, we get a load of lemons all at once. And I've developed over the years just a collection of things that I like to do with each type of fruit or vegetable or whatever we're pulling off the homestead. Canning lemonade is one of them. I'm going to teach you today how to can lemonade and can lemonade concentrate. But I have to be honest, I more often than not will can lemonade concentrate. And the reason for this is that you get more lemons per jar. So the only difference between the two is that you're leaving the water out of the lemonade concentrate. So essentially you're canning lemon juice and sugar, and then you'll add the water later. And then when you can lemonade, you're adding the water to the lemon and sugar. So with that being said, you will need all the supplies to water bath can, and I'm not going to go into that in this video. I will leave all the links in the description box below. But as far as the ingredients that you'll need to make canned lemonade or canned lemonade concentrate, you'll need just lemons, preferably homegrown organic. But if you don't have that, store-bought lemons are just fine if you just want to have the experience and gain the skill of canning lemonade. So you'll need lemons, you'll need sugar, and if you're making the canned lemonade, of course you'll need water. Before I get started, keep in mind that I have a corresponding blog post for canned lemonade concentrate and canned lemonade, and I will leave both links in the description box below. So the first thing that you're going to do is to wash and sterilize your jars. Now, canned lemonade and canned lemonade concentrate can be made in either quart, pint, or half pint jars. I typically will use quart or pint. But it doesn't matter. As long as you have the right ratio of lemon to sugar, it doesn't matter the size of jar in this recipe. So make sure your jars are washed and clean, and then get them sterilizing in your water bath canner. I want to remind you that if you are using a water bath canner, to remember to put a rack on the bottom. This is going to help with the jars breaking. So the first step is to juice the lemons into a pitcher. Just cut the lemon in half. If you don't have homegrown lemons, or you're not using organic lemons, make sure to wash the lemons before you move on to this step. Cut the lemon in half, use a citrus press, and press the juice out of the lemon. Now, you are going to want to strain the juice in this recipe because you'll get a lot of pulp in the lemon juice. For the lemonade concentrate, measure a 1-to-1 ratio of lemon juice to sugar. So I actually like to use the jars to measure here. So for every jar of lemon juice, I will do a jar of sugar, and you're going to put all of those ingredients into a large stock pot. Now, this is going to depend on how much you're going to be making. Of course, my recipes are very flexible to what you have coming out of the garden. So this year I put up 10 quarts of lemonade concentrate. So I took a quart of lemon juice, of strained lemon juice, put it into the stock pot, put a quart of sugar and put it into the stock pot, and that will get you about 2 quarts of the lemonade concentrate. Now, the lemonade concentrate it's very syrupy. It's made to have water. It's made to have water added later. So definitely don't drink this straight from the jar when you open it up. You're going to want to add quite a bit of water to dilute that down for it to be a lemonade that is drinkable. So after you have your lemon juice and your sugar measured out, you stir and just dissolve the sugar in a large pot, not your canning pot. You'll have your jars sterilizing at the same time that you have a large stock pot to dissolve your sugar and your water, your sugar and your lemon juice. Now, you're gonna wanna use a large pot. I made the mistake, I don't know what I was thinking, but I was using a medium-sized pot and I ended up having to transfer all my lemon juice and sugar into a large, kind of big soup pot. And so start with a large pot, especially if you're making any more than a couple jars, and put your lemon juice and your sugar and dissolve the sugar, and you're not really bringing this to a boil. You're gonna wanna just do it until the sugar is melted. And if you're making the lemonade concentrate, that's it. It's ready to be labeled. That 1-to-1 ratio of sugar to lemon juice is ready to be ladled into those sterilized canning jars. If you are going to be making the lemonade, add the water now. You might need to do a little bit of math depending on how much lemon juice you will be canning. But so for the lemonade concentrate, you will need a 1-to-1 ratio of lemon juice to sugar. If you're going to be making the lemonade, at the same time you're dissolving the lemon juice and sugar, add 6 cups of water. So for the lemonade, it's 1 cup lemon juice, 1 cup sugar, and 6 cups of water. And you can that. If you're just doing lemonade concentrate, which is what I usually do, you're going to add that 6 cups of water upon serving. So I'm really canning a syrupy, just lemon and sugar concentrate. Then when I'm ready to serve it in the middle of summer and the kids are running around and hot, I will dump it into a big serving pitcher or one of those, I really like to use those drink dispensers. And so you dump the concentrate in, then you're gonna add your 6 cups of water. So you can kind of decide, do I wanna can the water so it's ready, it's a dump and serve, or do I want to can just the lemon and sugar and then add the water later? One of the reasons that I like this recipe is it takes our lemon juice and makes them shelf stable. So the first way that I use lemons is by freezing the juice into an ice cube tray. And this is really good for recipes and just when you need plain lemon juice. And then the other is I like to freeze dry the lemon juice and the whole lemons, and I can talk about that in another video. But this is a really fun recipe to have the kids help you with, and it's a really good way to get lemons from a perishable state to a shelf-stable state. I should mention that you do not need to make lemonade to can lemon juice. You can simply just can lemon juice, in which case I would probably use a 1/2 pint jar because I don't typically need a ton of lemon juice all at once. So when you're ready to serve, I like to serve this just over ice and then put a fun straw in for the kids. I actually have this cute little soda fountain straw holder. My grandma had one of these in her kitchen, and I don't have any straws in it because the kids took them and played with them because they love it. But basically when you pull this up, the straws kind of fan out, so the kids love grabbing this, and I like to put like seasonal straws in it. Once you've filled the jars with either your lemonade concentrate or your lemonade, pull out your sterilized jar and use a jar funnel to ladle that lemonade or lemonade concentrate into the jar. Now I like to take a little rag and kind of wipe the rim of the jar just so that I got all the residue off before adding a unused canning lid and a ring that's just finger tight. You don't want to crank it down because this can interfere with its natural sealing, and you want to make sure that your food is properly sealed. So just once that you take that hot sterilized canning jar out and fill it up and screw that lid on finger tight, you're going to take your jar lifter and just lower it back down into your water bath canner for 10 minutes. So once you get all of your cans back into the water bath canner, put the lid on, set the timer for 10 minutes, and you can come back and then lift them all out onto a dish towel. I do that just to protect my counter. You really want to not touch them. I set them on my counter and then I don't check the seal until the next day. And so if you start pushing the seal down before they're cool, you could get a false seal. So I will wait until they are completely cool before I test the seal. And if there's one that hasn't sealed, you can still use it, just put it in the fridge. And then I like to label all of my jars with the date and the contents, even if I think I know what it's going to be, because I've made that mistake before. Once you get a ton of jars in your extended food storage pantry, it's really easy to forget what you have in there.